Hello students, I am again with chemistry class. In the previous class I taught you that what happens when acid and bases are added in water. That means on dilution. So I told you that H plus ion concentration on dilution decreases per unit volume. Some students ask me that this topic is not very clear to them. So I am telling you again that students, if I am taking a dilute H2SO4 sample in a beaker, you are observing that this much amount of H2SO4 is there in the beaker, volume is this much. If you are adding more amount of water, H2SO4 is in that amount only, but if you are adding more water, volume will definitely increase. Here you are observing that volume is up to this level. Here previously it was up to this level. So volume will increase, but the number of H plus will remain same. H plus were there in this much volume. Now that same number of H plus are there in that much volume. So definitely if you observe in a particular area, number of H ions will be less in this case where volume is more. But here in a small area, if you are considering, more number of H plus will be there because overall volume is less. So as water is added, number of H plus ions in a particular area decreases. Okay students. So that's why we say that on dilution of acids, number of H plus ions decreases per unit volume. That line is must, students, that per unit volume decreases taking place. Same is the case in OH negative also, that what happens when bases are diluted. When bases are diluted, OH negative ions per unit volume decreases on dilution. So I have revised you that topic, students. I think that now it is clear to you. Now I am starting the next topic, that is pH. I have introduced that topic to you yesterday in the previous video. Now pH, what is that actually? It is potens dihydrogen. Meaning, students, power of hydrogen. Power of hydrogen, it measures the strength of acids or bases. How stronger the acid is. Like students, if I am taking, if pH is less than 7, yesterday I told you that Sorensen was the scientist who gave a scale called pH scale, which starts from 0 and extend up to 14. If pH is less than 7 se kam hai, then the substance shows acidic nature. And if pH is equal to 7, then the substance is regarded as neutral. And if pH is more than 7, the substance is basic. More the pH, suppose if I am taking a substance A is having pH 8, a substance B is having pH 10. Which is more basic? Obviously, the substance which is having 10 pH is more basic and substance having 8 pH is less basic. So in this case, pH is just a measure of strength of acids or bases. Is it clear, students? Here I have written, students, that some mathematical concept was also given for calculating the pH. In higher classes, you will solve many numerical questions also based on this pH. But in this class, we are just taking the relation that pH is equal to minus log base 10 H3O ion. H3O meaning H plus ions. What does this square bracket indicate? Square bracket shows the concentration of H plus or H3O hydronium ion in moles per liter. What is this log? Log. It is actually logarithm. It is a method of calculation in mathematics. It makes the calculations easier. this logarithm. Like if you are having square root of a large number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and you have to calculate its cube root, it takes lot of time for calculating it. But if you apply this log method, in seconds you can able to calculate. So log is a technique of mathematics for doing calculations. Why this 10 is written? Because all the numbers, whichever number we are taking, it contain 10 digits from 0 to 9. How many digits? 10 digits. So log, it is working on 10 digits. So no need of bothering students, because you are not having any calculations. Just the formula is there. So what is it? pH is equal to negative logarithm of hydrogen ion concentration. Clear, students? And here I have written, students, that if lesser the pH value, lesser meaning towards 0, lesser the pH value, more is its acidic strength. If pH value is 0 and in another case pH value is 5, which is more acidic? 0 will be more acidic. Okay, students? So in this way, pH is telling you the strength of acid or base. I am telling you again and again that pH is 7, pH is 1, pH is 14. But how can we know? How can we calculate the pH? Actually, pH is just an indicator. As we used indicator for detection of acid and bases, now this indicator is used for deciding the strength of acid and base. It is an indicator which is applied on a paper strip, and the color of the paper strip is yellow. If we want to check the nature of any substance, we just put that paper strip into that substance, over that substance. So if on keeping that pH paper in different substance, that paper acquires a different shades, different colors over it. That colors indicate the strength of acid, the pH value. Like if we are getting deep red अगर हमको मिल रहा है, that means we can say that the pH value is towards 0. That means it is highly acidic in nature. And if the pH value is about 3 to 4, less acidic, then the color on the pH paper will be orangish. And if further we are increasing pH value 5 to 6, the color is now yellowish. Okay. And if we are reaching to green color or 7 pH, we are getting green color, neutral. And here 8 to 9, it is slightly blue, lighter blue. 10 to 11, it is dark blue. And 12 to 14, it becomes purple. So we are getting different color shades. There is a standard color chart for measuring the pH value. By that standard color chart, we can know about the pH. Thus, we can decide the strength of acid and base. Here I have written the method also, students, that suppose if we want to know the nature of substance, we just dip pH paper into that substance. It acquires some color, and by matching that color with standard chart of pH, we can decide the nature of the substance or the strength of acid or base. What is the extent of acidic nature? What is the extent of basic nature? In this way, students, pH work. Only the pH decides the acidic and basic strength of a substance. Okay, students? Now, I am taking applications of pH. Where do we use this pH? Firstly, I am taking in our digestive system. You all know, students, that as we eat food, that goes into the stomach and get digested. How it is getting digested? Gastric juices are there in the stomach. HCl is there in the stomach. HCl is considered to be a stronger acid. Due to the presence of that acid, pH value inside the stomach is in between 1 to 3. That means 1 से लेके 3 तक. That means inside the stomach, strong acidic medium is present, which is responsible for the digestion of food, for the breakdown of food into simpler form. And this pH is required for the proper digestion of food in our stomach. So this is one of the application of pH. Second, I am taking tooth decay. Tooth decay, दांत खराब होना. You know, students, the covering over our tooth is enamel. It is made up of calcium phosphate. It is not required. And this enamel is the hardest substance in our body. Hardest substance. But if in our mouth the medium is becoming acidic, then this enamel get corroded and acquires cavities in the tooth. So pH in the mouth is approximately 5.5 students. And if less than 5.5 pH is there in the mouth, then the medium becomes acidic, and which is responsible for tooth decay. Like if we don't brush our teeth properly, then some of the food particles remain there only in between the tooth. The food particles get stuck in between tooth and they get decayed there. And whenever something is getting decayed, it forms acid. And acid corrodes the enamel of the tooth and thus produces cavities. Why our parents used to say, don't eat so much chocolates, otherwise your tooth will get decayed. Your teeth will get decayed. क्यों ऐसा बोलते हैं parents? Because remember, students, that sweeter things get decayed more readily. If the substance is sweet, decaying process is fast, and after the food is getting decayed, the sweet substance which is getting decayed, it forms what? Acid. And acid have tendency to corrode this enamel. Thus, it is advised to brush your teeth at least twice a day, in the morning and at night before going to bed. Okay? And in the morning, we all use or brush our teeth with a suitable paste. So, that paste is having basic nature, students, and that's why whatever acidic medium is there in the mouth, that get neutralized. So we all use basic paste for brushing our teeth. Okay, students? Next application I am taking is in humans like us. Our body works at 7 to 7.8 pH. All our processes, that means our body is at pH 7 to 7.8, like our blood, tears, aansu, saliva in the mouth, that all is having about pH 7.4 approximately. If pH falls below 7 in our body, at that time, remember students, survival becomes difficult. So human body is working at pH 7.7 to 7.8. You will say that in the mouth pH is about 5.5, in the stomach it is 1 to 3. How it is so? That pH is decreasing for the different activities. That's why it is going in between 1 to 3 or 5.5. But the whole body remain at the pH 7 to 7.8. Okay, friends? Like if, as you know that in the atmosphere, sulfur dioxide, carbon dioxide, and many gases are there, which when react with rain, they forms different acids. And that acid containing rain is called acid rain. And when that acid rain is getting mixed with river water, aquatic life becomes difficult. It is very harmful for the aquatic animals. So they also require optimum pH value. Is it clear, students? Now I am taking the next, that is self-defense of animals and plants through chemical welfare. Like different chemicals are present in the animals and plants, and by using that chemicals they protect themselves. Like if I am taking the case of honey bee, the yellow bee in the school, students, when it bites, lots of irritation take place. Why? Because it contains some acid in it, and that acid when get injected in our body, we feel irritation. And that's why it is advised during any bite, insect bite, like honey bee, like red ant, we should apply some base. Which acid is there in this honey bee? Methanoic acid, students. Here I have written that name, students. Methanoic acid. Similarly, in thorns of the plant, thorns, कांटे जो होते हैं plants में, like rose plant, nettle plant, they all contain thorns, and on the tip of their thorns, methanoic acid is present. In that case also, whenever thorn prick is there, in that case also, much irritation is felt. So that is all due to methanoic acid. Is it clear? So we have done, students, pH and the applications of pH. One more is left. I am giving you homework that you do it by your own. What pH is required by the field for the proper crops? What pH is required by the crops in the field? Do it. We will discuss it in our next video. And one more homework I am giving you, students, that you have to do the list of acids in different vegetables and fruits. It is given in the book. Like if I ask you that which acid is there in tomato, so it is oxalic acid. Tamarind, tartaric acid. Lemon, citric acid. So in this way, you have to do all the acids in different vegetables and fruits. It can come in your board exam also. So for today, this much is there, students. Thank you.